about today. I want to have a conversation with you about amplifying artists' message, specifically artists that talk about more deeper topics and things like that, right? So my first question is, why don't you go for more commercially successful music? Like, why isn't that your lane?
Just because it doesn't feel right. Like, I can't make a song about how many hoes I got, spinning the block, and then go around my family. Like, because that's obviously not my life.
I mean, if anything, I know a lot of times, like, I get a lot of pushback for the stuff I make, and that's why I work with you, because it feels organic, feels natural, it just flows. Yeah. But I know a lot of times when I work with people, they'll entice me, or I guess try to motivate me to do things that appeal to people more. You ever felt that peer pressure before? Do people hit you with that?
Well, nobody has ever hit me with that because, like, I am, I guess, categorized as a nerd, so it's like everything outside of that, like the violent lane, the drug lane, the sexual lane, is not like, it just doesn't fit what I present as and how I feel. So it's like, I actually have been pressured. I had to really think about it. I have been pressured to do it. And that's how I ended up creating Get Rich.
Can you explain that more? Like, how did those things converge?
People were just asking me to make, like, more upbeat type songs.
Oh, so I see what you're saying. Like, the messaging behind Get Rich.
Yeah.
It kind of feeds into that. I got you.
Yeah. More upbeat songs that, like, average people can relate to. And I'm not saying that in a way of, like, I'm not average, but I'm not average. So it's like the life that I live and the values that I have are not, like, everyday experiences. Like, or everyday for me, but not for just Joe Schmo walking down the street. But everybody can relate to fuck a nigga get rich. Like, everybody in the hood can relate to that. That's what's actually being promoted.
And it's like, one thing that I thought of was controversy and creativity. Have you heard of this new word called rage baiting?
No, but without you giving me a
context,
yeah, I can understand what it is and say that I've seen it. So,
like, a lot of times what I've recognized is people who have, like you said, salacious or highly stimulating content, they lean into it more and more. People will categorize this as rage baiting. What I noticed, though, with people with a message or someone who's trying to have a more productive or positive platform, when I say productive, like actually see a result or some kind of outcome from the words or the platforms they create, I noticed that they're a lot more intentful about being politically correct, even though their actions aren't. Could you talk about why you think, like, that speaks more to, like, your brand of, like, not wanting to speak so salaciously to bring your point across? Because just then you said something and you're like, I don't want to be an average artist, and then you recanted it because I'm sure you're just aware of how other people might perceive or receive that messaging. But that could have been your clickbait right there. Why don't you lean into those things?
And I mean, because I'm not that person. Like, I'm not trying to cause, if it's controversial, it's controversial, but, like, I'm not trying to put up a video, like, so it's not, I'm not about to say something wild just for attention.
Nah, that's why I noticed that. It's like, okay, you're very, very self-aware. You know what I mean? You keep self-awareness, where other people, they find little moments like that where they feel that spike and they lean into it. You know what I mean? What are some of the interview platforms or some of the music that, motivates your message, or things that you've been inspired by recently? Because we want to tag them. We want to shout them out. Actually, we want to get you there.
Recently, I just was telling them, but, like, I've been watching Reason's interviews, like, because I'm trying to get better at properly expressing myself in interviews, because you never really know what they're going to ask. So it's like, I always feel blindsided by the questions. But other platforms, I'm not really checking for them. Like, if they come, if the opportunities come organically, then they come. But it's none that is like, I want to do an interview here, like, because it's not.
Any of those, like, rap performance platforms, or like tours or anything like that? Mainstream stuff?
No.
Nah. Okay.
No, I'd rather build it from the bottom, because, like, realistically, touring touring with like a mainstream artist at this point for me would be no benefit, because I would have to win over every single crowd like that's outside of my area right now, that where people know me, right? And that's like, it's a cool thing to do, but you also like, you taking off just as much time as those mainstream artists. You missing out on things. You're helping bring them more money, and you're not really getting a lot of that money. Mm-hmm. And nobody's really, I've been checking these prices lately, or these current festivals and all that. It'd be 70 people on the bill, and it's a $20 ticket. It's like, how are y'all splitting it?
Well, I mean, that's interesting that you mentioned that, because, you know, I made a post about that too, where a lot of times you can see a mainstream artist for the same price, if not cheaper than what an up-and-coming artist is intending to have, you know, someone invest in their show. So I know that can be a conflict of interest. Just even speaking on more prominently known artists and platforms. I know earlier we were talking about Rapsody's album, but we never really dove into it. So I wanted to get some perspective on what you thought of that, because I think this would be a good opportunity to bridge that gap for new listeners, and then also people who do like that. I'm more than sure they'll like your messaging too. And I know you were bringing it up to us because we were listening to another artist named No Name Gypsy. You were just, you know, bringing some perspective, so I wanted to know a little bit more about what you had to share back then.
About Rapsody's album?
Yeah.
Amazing. From beginning to end, no skips. I pay whatever she said the price is. Like, it would be worth it. Mm-hmm. She could say $1, $1,000. It's worth it. I don't got $1,000 right now.
So what do you feel like was the greatest thing that was the value in it? You know,
the value. It was the purity in how she was expressing herself. Like, she talked about these controversial things that like people been questioning, like her sexual identity, or like things like her sleeping with a married man. Okay. Like, she talked about that. You put me on. I didn't know. Yeah, put me on. She talked about that in such a, like, everything was just so vulnerable. Like, it's I felt like a coming of age for me. I don't know if it was for her, but like, it helped me grow the first time I listened to it.
That's why I wanted to get your perspective, because I know that you knee deep in hip hop, and just seeing other people who have a similar mission or a path ahead of them, I could only imagine how that resonated with you. So getting more opinions, because it's like I can watch Anthony Fantano and, you know, other people express it, but I was like, what do black women think about Rapsody's album? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's, I think, a very valuable perspective we don't gain.
I'm telling you, the same way I said it when Killer Mike dropped his album of the year. And he went he went and got those 3 Grammys. Rapsody's album is album of the year, not female rap album of the year, period. Marlena, she's something different.
And I think if I could name some of my favorite artists right now, and then I want to get some of yours, and then I got one more question for you to tie this up. Right now, some of my favorite artists are obviously you. That's why I'm working with you. And that's always obviously a flex for me, because I get to work with the people who I think music is worth aligning with. So that's a selfish plug. And then also, I like No Name. I really like, obviously, Rapsody. That's definitely been on my playlist a lot. And then I also like Tina. She's from Jersey, I believe. I'll tag her in the comments. She's worked with like Joey Badass, you know, Pro Era. And then shouts out to Mickeya too.
Yeah, Mickeya be rapping, and Imani the Superstar be rapping, like.
Yeah, honorable mentions.
Like, rapping. People, I'm telling you, because people don't be rapping.
And then so, I guess my last person, and I want to know what y'all think in the comments as well. I think my last person I would throw in there, I'm still just the biggest Missy Elliott fan. Her comeback is so crazy right now.
She's the one.
Yeah, like, Missy's comeback is ridiculous. Shouts out to VA, but who your favorite? If not, you don't got to go all 5, but I just wanted to go with 5. What are your favorite female artists right now? Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah, specifically rap, because I could have went into R&B. I tried really hard not to just then.
Me, Maya, Rapsody, Money.
Right.
I ain't got a fourth one.
That's it. Yeah, that's it right there. I love that, and you keep it close to home. And I love that. That's why I asked you the question earlier in the beginning, and it's going to tie into my last question about, the route of artistry for people with a message. Because oftentimes, what you'll find is people with a message have to stick together. It's all those artists, you see them pictures of them 5-10 years ago doing similar shows, going to similar places because there's environments for that.
Yeah, Queen Latifah and Moni Love still doing shows together.
You feel me? Like, you got to stay close to those who have that same mission.
And MC Light, like they still doing their shows together.
And that's a testament to knowing your lane. Because a lot of times, that's why I said, and you explained it actually very well, which is you don't have a genuine interest to pour over into that other new stuff and opportunities for people to be seen. Like, you genuinely stick to your personal interests. What do you think is something that you could offer other young people or older people? Shoot, I always say young people, but there's people always growing and developing, evolving. What would you say is a good set of foundations or principles that you move with that keep you motivated? Because that's something that people don't often have. They don't have self-motivation. They be needing it externally. But how do you keep yourself motivated to stay on the path that you're on despite, the current and common state of how people like to put themselves out there, whether it be the internet or controversy and things like that?
My motivation is sitting behind you. I never want to see them on the internet doing something weird. Like, I never want to see them on the internet showing too much or saying too much, doing too much.
Or doing too much or saying too much to them.
Yeah,
that's real. That she said that's all I need.
That's
all I need. And I think that's...
And it's not just them, it's like the other kids that I'm around, kids in general. Like, not even just kids, because like I see people my age and older doing the dumbest stuff on the internet. It's like, bro, I hate that for y'all. Like, I hate that you feel like you need to do this for some clicks. And the clicks not doing nothing for you.
And that's where I'm at in this chapter of my life, is I'm being more responsible with my energy, because I like to share, I like to express my values, my loves, my interests. But I'm learning that type time can rob the people, like you said, the people who are behind us currently, or me technically, but literally your family members is what I'm alluding to. Those people miss out a lot of you when you're trying to excite and create all of this visibility for yourself in the world. They miss so much of you. And, I'm really at this age, starting to realize how I can be more of a impact and a resource to the people right next to me. So, was there anything that you was thinking of before we slide today? Because I don't want to make this a full interview. I just want to make these catch-up opportunities that people can stay tapped in with you on a real type time, and they can open their mind and speak to you. You feel me?
I would just say, in the meantime, drink your water, mind your business, do what you're supposed to be doing in life. There's nothing like, literally those 3 things, you'll be cool. If you just mind your business, you have less drama, you drink water, you be healthier, you do your life work, you feel more fulfilled.
That being said, bless it up. You heard?